Hi, my name is Ella Domain, and my film's name is A Man's Best Friend. So, A Man's Best Friend is about a high school group and a dog, Winnie, who will go on adventures together. And in the film clip, they go on an adventure to school. For this process, I was the director and editor of my group. So for the first question, how does your project use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues? So our target audience is young adults, ages 13 and over, females and males. And our genre is comedy and young adult comedy. And we did adhere to many of the conventions of a young adult comedy. So for first, the story and plot was about a humorous tale that was an over-exaggerated circumstances that will end in a happy ending at some point. And then for our themes and values, we represented joy and happiness throughout the entire film using many joyful sounds and vibrant colors throughout the whole thing. And then for representation of characters, we used a normal size, like a normal group of high school students, one nerd, a jock, skateboard boy, teenage boy, and the popular girl. And then one thing that we didn't adhere to that was different was Winnie. And we tried to represent the average high school stereotypical group of people. And for lighting, camera, action, and editing, we use high key light, sound effects, and non-diegetic music. And to grab our audience's attention, we tried to make our audience laugh, which is why we included scenes like the nerd dropping her books and tripping over them, and little fun sound effects in order to engage the audience. For the second question, how does your product engage with audiences, and how would it be distributed as a real media text? So Winnie, so the two things that caught our audience's attention is Winnie and the setting changes. So Winnie is like a dog, and it attracts a lot of attention to her because of her looks and her cuteness, and this setting change makes it relatable to teenagers, which then grabs their attention towards our film. And then people will continue to watch the film because we included a scene where Winnie escapes cage, and we don't really go anywhere with that to leave on a cliffhanger for the rest of the film, which will attract the readers even more and make them want to watch more. And I will be self-distributing on YouTube because I feel like that is the best way to get our video out there. Since it is already out on YouTube, I can use that to build a fan page. And I will also be making a teaser, which will include videos from film clips from the film itself in order to relay the message to get viewers. And one idea I had for distributing was a dog collar brand. So we would make a dog collar brand, and people that would buy it, it would go half of the profit would go to a shelter of a dog in need. And if you do buy one, for first time buyers, they will receive a 25% off coupon for their tickets when they buy them to come watch the movie. This will further engage the audience and draw more viewers. And then I also thought about a social media page where we would partner up with a dog shelter and post images of the dogs on the social media page, and also advertise our movie in the same area so that it represents something for our movie, and it will draw more attention and broaden the target audience to now animal lovers. And then I will also want to go to the American Film Festival to get our movie out there. For the next question, how did your production skills develop through this process? So first, we started with working on a script, and the script needed to be changed a few times because of the specificity of the script, and we needed to change it because it was a very basic script. We did change some few things, like we changed some of the scenes and where they were located, and then we did actually add in a school scene instead of like to them being in the classroom instead of them just walking into school, because it would engage the audience more. So during the production process, when everybody came over, we noticed something very wrong, and it was that we tried to plug in the sound and we were not given the part where you actually use the sound to connect to your phone so you actually get the sound. So we didn't end up using the sound boom or any of the equipment that we were given. So there were some scenes where I had to cut out because I couldn't use them because of the wind. The wind took in a major... It was bad because the day that we decided to shoot, it was extremely windy outside, and we had one scene in the beginning that was outside of Steve walking Winnie, and we had to delete that scene, unfortunately, because our video was too long and it just didn't sound right. Throughout the editing process, Aice, the editor, took a lot of time to do that, and I spent most of my time working on the title sequence. So the title sequence is something that I worked really, really hard on, and it was successful from the moment that I did it. There were a few changes where I had to add some different credits and like speed it up so that because some of the credits went away too fast, so I had to fix that after our first draft. But other than that, I tried to make it like a TV fun comedy thing, and it really turned out really good, which was a really good thing. And as I was putting the movie together, I did have to delete some other scenes. I deleted the scene of Steve and his best friend walking to the car because there's no point, and Steve asking Abigail to start his car because we don't actually see that, and that was something that we discussed with the teacher, and we made those changes. We were supposed to make a montage of Winnie towards the end because we felt like the scene, like we needed something more of Winnie. But I did try, like we tried to make Winnie do all these bad things, like grab toilet paper and all that kind of stuff, but it just didn't work out because she kept looking at the camera and you just couldn't edit that out. But other than that, our movie was extremely good, and our script and our actors were extremely good, and they didn't need the sound boom in the end because they were so loud, which was a great thing. But the only thing that little struggled with that was a voiceover in the beginning. We were gonna have him voiceover, but it just didn't work out. But it's okay because the film still looked pretty good. But of course, there are always things that you can improve on. For the last question, how did you integrate technologies in this project? So I use Premiere Rush, iMovie, Google, YouTube, Arc Studio, and Padlet. So for Premiere Rush, I used that to do the title sequence transitions. It was a lot easier, and I was able to be creative and make my own transition with all their different transitions they had in the film already. And then iMovie, I transferred the credit sequence into iMovie and created the movie that way. I did end up using an iPad because I did try it on my phone and it was just too complicated, so I did use it on an iPad. But other than that, everything else was on my phone. So Google, I use Google for research. Like whenever we did research about our genre and different kind of movies and how they distributed in their market, I used Google for that. And then YouTube I used to distribute my movie and post it so I could post it on Padlet, which is another form of technology I used for all my blog posts. So each blog post that we did, I did on Padlet, and we shared the link together, and we were able to work on that. So, and then Arc Studio was where we wrote our script. It had like a really good format, which was important to us because it like gave us a sense of how it actually is in real life, and it was really organized. But all of the technologies that I used in the iPhone, like my camera, I edited on my phone. I used the camera on my phone, and we did voiceovers on my phone. I used the sound effects on my phone. Everything was on my phone, which just really shows how like the iPhone has revolutionized the way we develop media. Thank you.